looking at is the Sapphire Steel deck that took down the Manticxre Tavern number 2. This is a Sapphire Steel list that plays things like Flabbersham with the Popsicle, Sad Beast here, and Whole New World. All of those give you cards and card advantage. The Quill allows you to sort of break the parity on Whole New World. You ink a lot of your hand, and then you wheel away, and you're able to take advantage of a lot more of those cards. Most of our things also do have the ability to sing Whole New World as well, which is nice, of course. And they can also sing Let It Go or Grab Your Sword, giving us a little bit more ink access than we would normally have. Eye of Fate's is sort of a nod that sometimes we have to close the game with just whatever we have. You know, Captain Hook Forceful Duelist off the top, turn 1,000, with an Eye of Fates or 2 in play is still a very reasonable threat. A couple of Tamatoas, likely because we already have so much draw that we don't necessarily need as many of them. I like the Inkable count. It's just songs and the Hades Infernal Schemer that are uninkable, so our games should feel pretty smooth a lot of the times. And I would think that because of Whole New World and Smash, that your Ruby Amethyst matchup should be pretty reasonable. Smash is very good against things like Arthur. Whole New World makes it so that when they draw a bunch of cards with rabbits and bounce cards to their hand, you just wheel, give them a brand new 7, and then it just doesn't even matter. If you want this deck list, I will put a link below, or you can check it out in the chat. So let me take a look here, make sure that I've got this deck on Pixelborn, and then we can give it a go. So it should be this one. Looks right to me. Let's play some games. Obviously, if there's still any additional audio issues, let me know. But we'll blast a little bit here. I do think that this deck looks reasonable, and I think it has some interesting ideas to sort of attack the metagame. Some of the big menaces being Amethyst, and if this deck has the ability to bully it, it can certainly be tuned to beat whatever matchups it might have that are bad, and it is definitely a real contender. I still obviously like the Popsicle deck, the Ruby Sapphire. However, if it just doesn't fit in the meta, it doesn't fit in the meta. Sometimes that happens. You just have to adapt. So, all right. So looking at our opener, it looks pretty rough. That's fine. We have a lot of inkables in this deck, so we can afford to mulligan relatively aggressively to something that actually plays more to the board. Something like this I think is fine. This gives us some potential draw in a few turns. It gives us a little bit of early interaction. And we found a Quill as well, which is nice. I'm likely looking to play one of these hooks right away. We don't necessarily need Flabbersham since we don't have a Popsicle right now. We also don't know if we need this beast at all, so I'm going to get rid of this beast, play a hook, and say go. Once we know a little bit more about what our opponent is playing, then we'll have a bit more information on what we can, what we need to play. If we don't need any further Captain Hooks, we can get rid of that pretty easily as well. Getting this down early is pretty nice, even if we just use it as a draw engine. The opponent's got a pretty tough choice on turn 1, I guess. I suppose they really don't have any idea what we're playing yet. We still have only gotten rid of steel cards, so presumably they're deciding on what they want to ink if they want to play a little bit more aggressively. They opt to do not a lot here. Let's go ahead and attack with the Captain Hook. I don't think we need to play a second one. We'll just say go. We want a little bit of pressure, but obviously our hand is pretty expensive, and I'd like to play the Quill, getting rid of the Hades, I think. This could be the Popsicle deck, actually. Yeah, that actually isn't that surprising to me. I'm not too worried about it, but that is a line that this deck can have. I think I'm going to get rid of Flaversham since we have the double beast. I'm going to go ahead and play the Quill, and I'm going to ink the Hades here. And our intention is to start playing these Tragic Beasts. If we can get both of them down, I think I would like to do that. We have a few turns, assuming that they're on, you know, some sort of a control deck. We have a few turns before they can really wipe these. If we can use them to draw 3-4 cards apiece, that would be pretty favorable for us, I think. Okay, so yeah, this does look like it's a Popsicle deck. We'll get in for 1 here, I assume. And then we'll be able to play a beast. I think we can get rid of Smash, but we don't need to reveal that information. So let's just do this. Play a beast, say go. There's not a lot that they can do for 4. They could teeth it, I guess, and then it doesn't have the ability to draw us an extra card, but it seems like a bit of a waste of resources to me, but you never know. They can't Tremaine us. They may be able to Dragonfire it the turn following. I likely won't attack with it when they get to 5, because Maui is generally pretty common, especially in Ruby. And we'll just use this to draw some cards. Especially since we have the Fishbone Quill and they don't. I'd rather draw as many cards as we can, and then even potentially wheel. They Judy themselves to draw another card, sure. Must be looking for something good here. Or they have Nick in hand, which is also possible. To get rid of a Flaversham. They must not have a lot of items if they're doing that. So we draw a couple Popsicles here. I think we'll play one of them. Just to get a little bit more information. I think I'm going to play another beast here. We don't really need this Develop Your Brain then. Let's draw a bunch of cards instead. So 3 cards on our turn. If they have a Dragonfire, they have a Dragonfire. It doesn't necessarily stop what we're doing. And Let It Go would be probably even worse for them, because it just gives us ink, which is fine. They have banished a Popsicle. Interesting. I think that this game is very well designed. I think that it has a bit of growing pains as far as getting some of the product in the hands of the players, which is not that uncommon for a new card game. And I'm eager to see how like their organized play and stuff looks come the spring, which is in another couple of months here. Once set 3 comes out, they're going to also bring organized play with that as well. If they are going to do that, it seems pretty likely that that it will end up having some pretty solid implications as far as the future of the game, I think. Okay, so we have some options here. They can Wrath us this following turn if they want. So board wiping this doesn't necessarily feel super strong. At least not with the... at least not with like the double grab your swords. I'm thinking, let's start with a Popsicle. We found a Cogsworth. Cogsworth makes it so that they can't really favorably attack even with Maui. No, Maui still gets us anyway. So I think what we'll do then is we'll just play an Eye of Fates here. I'm going to Quill one of these Grab Your Swords because I just don't think that we need them. And I'm actually just going to Rumble here. And then say go. I'd like to get a bit of lore going. If they do board wipe, we can follow it up with a Cogsworth or even follow it up with the Tamatoa and use that to draw even further cards. since we can get the Popsicle back. Assuming that there's something in play to sacrifice it to, of course. There is a world where I'm supposed to, like, kill a Judy Hops and then Popsicle it as well. Just because they can keep pace with our lore here. But I'm not too worried about it, I don't think. Like, if they use all their resources to just, like, beat all of our board to death, I don't think that matters that much. Maybe it does. It appears that they are going to beat all of our beasts to death with their characters. That's fine. I think that's okay. They opt to heal the Maui. Sure. So, option-wise, we can heal something, play the Tamatoa. We could also just Hades. Or just run out the Cogsworth. I think it might just be Cogsworth go. I would very much like to ink one of these, but without an extra draw, I don't think it makes sense. I'd like to get Cogsworth down, because then if we do draw a whole new world, we have the ability to play it. And if they Tremaine, we can just Hades it, I think. It's possible that attacking with the beast there was a little loose, because it does leave us wide open to Maui here. So they attack with Nick and then choose to pass. Interesting. So their hand is all uninkables. I suppose it's possible. It is certainly possible. Let's do this. Get rid of Captain Hook here. Play our Tamatoa, grab the Popsicle. Say go. We could have got in for 3. I think I'd rather just play the Tamatoa and keep this back, because the Maui just gets to eat it for free, which means it's a little unnecessary. They B-prep, they B-prep. They decide to Hades the Tamatoa. That's fine. Gives us a good Hades target. We can also just let it go the Nick, or just bash it. I think we'll start with the Popsicle. Draws us another Cogsworth. Let's do this. I'm really getting tired of this Nick, but there's not a ton that we can do about it, so... We probably should have just killed it a few turns ago. If we were going to do something about it. It's possible that they have more blue Hades and we're just going to ink back and forth. It seems like this is likely a Maleficent Dragon. No, it's a Be Prepared. Sure. Maybe. It's a blue Hades. Okay, sure. Alright, let's do this again. Could bait the Maui into hitting here. I think that's really that needed. It just feels unnecessary to lose a card for free like that. Just do this, draw a card, play it, draw a card. We could let it go, but I think I'll just pass. I'd like them to have to use an answer to Tamatoa that's like a board wipe. But it's possible that I'm playing a little bit too conservatively since I have the Eye of Fates in play. And I could just be, like, removing what they have. They do only have 4 cards in their hand, so their resources are getting a little bit more limited, though. And luckily, most of the cards that we played have recycled themselves. Okay, they quest. My assumption is that this means be prepared. Okay. Nice. Alright, that's fine. Draw a nice Flabbersham here. Draws us into some Tinkerbells. I can play a Tinkerbell here. And then say go. Honestly, we can maybe ink this Grab Your Sword. With the double Let It Go, we have some decent answers to most of what they play. Or what they could play here, especially with no items. If it's like a Tamatoa, they hit a Popsicle, we just get rid of it. Another Be Prepared is fine. Play a Popsicle. I think we'll jam Cogsworth here. We can also play a Tinkerbell. I think just get rid of this and say go. Tremaine is still a reasonable answer to Cogsworth here, so playing the second thing isn't terrible, but this is going to be vulnerable to Maui either way. So I believe that I'm going to start using my cards just to use the Eye of Fates and gain lore, however, though. Scar, sure. That is just fine. I don't think that does anything for him here. Alright, let's cast Develop Your Brain. I really, honestly don't think we're going to be whole new worlding this game with our opponent with 0 cards in hand and more lore than us. I think what we'll do is we will let it go on this. And then I think I'm just going to play Prince Eric. And then we'll do this and say go. Whole New World a few turns ago would have been fine. When they only have 1 card in hand, doesn't really feel like where you want to be. But we do get to close the game out relatively quickly here. And we have answers to quite a few threats if they do play them. Maui's still good against us. We can remove it and still keep gaining our lore, however, because of the smash. And then we can hold on to the Let It Go still. See what our opponent is going to do here with 2 cards in hand. They play a Scar, they bash it, that's fine. Luckily we still have the Prince Eric here, and we can just smash this to remove it, unless they heal it here. And if they do, then we can let it go, it's not a big deal. Alright, we found another Cogsworth as well, let's just smash the Scar. We will eye the Prince Eric, do this, play Cogsworth, say go. We'll just keep using their mostly nonsense guys that we have. Prince Eric in this case with the Eye of Fates is questing for 2, which is decent. The Inca Quill, they're probably not playing Workshops. They have 1 card left in hand. It is a Maleficent Dragon. Okay. Alright. In this case, we can Eye of Fates here. Quest. Let it go on the Maleficent. think we just ink the Quill here. So they have To Be Prepared's gone. If we assume that they're running Tremaine, we should run out the Tinkerbell. It doesn't close, but this way, if they have Tremaine, it doesn't stop us in one turn. Nice. So we will take that win. Makes sense. Definitely think I could have played this a little bit more aggressively, but unfamiliarity with the deck certainly coming to head there. However, we got the victory, and then we can run it back here. The deck seems like it has enough answers to the early game that I think it should play pretty okay. And I suppose it doesn't care that much about ramping most of the decks in the format, which is interesting. Which is certainly interesting. As long as you have a decent control matchup, I don't think you actually have to worry that much about ramping most of your opponents. Especially in the wheel deck, the parity bit is not as relevant. So we have a very sad looking hand here. Many sad beasts. We do go first, which is nice. I think we can mulligan this. We can mulligan DYB. I'd like to keep a smash. We can maybe do something like this. This gives us either of our draw engines and then an answer to some early pressure, which I think is fine. Given our hand, I think we just ink this and draw a card with the Popsicle. With the Amber Amethyst Hyper Aggro, you have the 1 and 2 drops, like you have the Captain Hook, the Prince Eric, and then you have Smash to dig towards like the Swords or the Tinkerbell. I mean, that deck can't really beat a single Tinkerbell, let alone more than one, so. Against this deck, ideally we would have some ramp, but I think we'll hold on to most of our draw. Cogsworth is okay in this matchup, but not incredible, but we do need to ink something. So I think we'll get rid of that. We'll use the Flaversham to draw, and then the Beast to draw, and then we have to grab your Swords to clean up. If they play Arthur, we can hit it with Smash, but I don't think I'm going to use Smash on what they have on the board right now. I think we're going to develop your brain. Just draw another Popsicle here is fine. That is pretty good. I guess I will get rid of the other Cogsworth then. Maybe we don't need the Quill. No, we usually will need the Quill, I think, with this deck. Like, I'm pretty sure that we're playing Flaversham into Beast and then just, like, doing Quill and then a bunch of shit in a single turn. It's awkward that we found this on 3. So they chose to do nothing. And they also didn't ink anything. Which means they almost certainly have Arthurs. I think I don't need both of these Flavershams, given that they missed an ink. You can just do this, draw a couple cards, and say go. So they finally drew a Minnie Mouse. And they didn't do anything with it. That's interesting. Do we want this Beast down? I don't think I need to attack with Flaversham here. Kind of want to just play the Beast. And then say go. We can do a lot with the beast. We can opt to... that's fine. Get rid of the Flaversham. We don't really need it for the card draw. We can board wipe them if we want. I don't really want to let it go on the Lady Tremaine because it gets them way too far ahead. I'm going to play the Quill. We definitely don't need this redundant piece here. We can hit the beast here. I think I'm just going to play... I'm going to play the Captain Hook, and I'm just going to ink to let it go. And then I don't think that I smash here, and I just say go. I don't want them to be able to Maui for free, and I want them to, if they bounce Lady Tremaine or if they have another Lady Tremaine. I thought about challenging and healing, but then that just makes the beast vulnerable to either Mim Rabbit, if they just attack this into it and then Mim Rabbit it, or Maui directly. Like, if they bounce this Lady Tremaine, that would be ideal for us, because then we just get to Whole New World and then not worry about it. Or, as this is, we can just bash here. Swords it, and then wheel. Which I kind of don't hate. Is that what I want to do? Kind of. We don't even necessarily need to swords it. We can just smash it, even. Leave the Olaf. So we'd want to ink most of our hand if we do that then. We know that most of their hand is uninkable currently, which means that it's a lot of be prepareds and such. So I think our play that I like here is to go like this. Don't want them to know that we're getting rid of a grab your swords, ideally. Let's do this. We should really play something that can sing next turn. Yeah, I figured that they were struggling a bit. They're not going to be able to board wipe. I think I'm going to play Beast like this. Another Captain Hook, and then just say go. So their hand was 2 Be Prepareds, 2 Elsas. Yeesh. But that does mean that they don't have a ton of Be Prepareds remaining, which is good for us. We'll see what they play for 6. Mini. Okay. I could wipe this with just Tinkerbell plus Grab Your Sword. It is not embarrassing. It forces them to be prepared if they have it. And we have so many cards in our hand anyway. Yeah, let's quest. I'd like to get another Quill down, I think. but I don't know if it's even necessary. Let's do this first to see what we're working with. Draw a Cogsworth, sure. Yeah, I don't think we need the second one. And we probably don't need the Let It Go here. If they have the Be Prepared, they have it. But if they don't, they're going to have to do something. Sure, that's fine. Unfortunately, that is our last Whole New World. Let's do this. Draw cards. They might go a little wide. We can ink this other one. Let's say go. If they don't have their final Be Prepared in hand, my play is to sing with Cogsworth here and do Whole New World. We can even, in theory, just sing and kill this too, because at this point we can just kind of go wide and go around what they're doing. Do I want to kill the Maleficents? I think so. Let's do this. Grab your sword. Ink this. See, deck counts 17 for us currently. We do this, and then we can quest a Flower Sham. And then play out Prince Eric. With the Eye of Fates, and in theory the Tamatoa as well, we should be able to close out the game pretty quickly from here. So they have one Tremaine left, probably no Elsas. Usually they don't run more than two. And then one more Be Prepared in there somewhere. Goat, unfortunately. Probably looking at killing the goat. I think we'll Eye of Fates for sure. Um, 14 cards left. I don't really think that we need this Quill anymore. It's a Sad Beast. I think we can smash the goats. Just leave this rabbit in play. Smash this, smash this. We can ink this Quill. We're already at 15. We don't really need more quilling. And I believe that we can play Tamatoa, and that should basically be lethal next turn if they don't Be Prepared this turn. And then if they do, we can follow it up with Cogsworth Beast. With the Eye of Fates as well. They might have found it. Certainly possible. Elsa to tap two things. Tamatoa and Tinkerbell, I guess? Okay. That's fine. Mim Snake bouncing the rabbit, presumably to dig for the Be Prepared. I have Fates here. Quest. 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 We keep the Eye of Fates, though. We don't really need more cards anyway. We could just clear the board. I mean, we definitely want to use Hades here to get rid of the Elsa. And I don't want them to have, like, some weird double goat lines, so I think we do just smash this. And then we can play the Popsicle and draw. One draw is fine. They have B-Prep, they have B-Prep, but that's your only answer at this point. And then we can follow it up with a Cogs and a couple of things. Like, we can play multiple things in a turn. Okay. That takes care of that. So we beat. It's not that they have more removal necessarily. It's just that the removal... So, like, if I was playing against a mid-range deck, playing a lot of, like, Tamatoas and things with big butts... Amber specifically, like, none of the removal that we really have is super great against Rockstar Stitch. Ugh. Which is where Be Prepared excels, right? Because Grab Your Sword is 2 damage instead of, you know, just wiping the board. But because all of these are songs, like, Smash is incredible right now, because the 3-drop slot, or sorry, the 3 toughness... 3 willpower, I guess. 3 willpower is very, very prevalent in, you know, all the Amethyst decks and a lot of decks. So it does seem like the 3 is a really good spot to have removal for. And you have board wipe for 3 damage, which is you play Tinkerbell and you play swords. And you also have just Smash in general, which is a very strong card. The deck is interesting. It felt like... Looking at it, it would be maybe a little slow, but in practice, it doesn't seem so bad. Though I have found Quill most of our games. Yeah, I don't think it's particularly easy to pilot either. I think there's a lot of lines that you can take that... I'm not even sure if I would adjust the deck at all, what I would do to it yet. It feels okay so far. I mean... Sad Beast is a decent draw engine. It seems like a lot of your cards are pretty strong as far as on their own. They don't really need like a big combo. Yeah, I still like Ruby Sapphire as well. You can try Cruella. The 2-drop Cruella can also sort of solve your problem in that spot. I feel like this is the kind of hand that I'm supposed to keep and then just not run out Captain Hook on 2. Like, maybe I get rid of the Prince Eric to Popsicle. I guess I can get rid of Captain Hook, because Prince Eric is just a better Captain Hook, right? Because once we know what they're playing, I can do this. Greetings. Popsicle. Draw. And then say go. This deck, because it has the full set of Cogsworth, is going to be really good against other steel decks. So that lets it be good against the Steel Song. Like, I think this deck doesn't necessarily have an optimal matchup against everything, but I think it has a lot of cards that are good against the current metagame, which is really the only important thing in the field at large. Like, I don't know what to ink here. Like, I want to play all of these cards. Maybe I don't need Smash in this matchup specifically. Especially not with the Grab Your Sword and the Prince Eric here. Like, I'm probably inking this with the Quill, setting up for the Grab Your Sword, maybe. I don't see a turn where I'm going to be able to play this Smash, basically, is what I'm getting at here. This makes it so that their aggro is essentially shut down. Any deck playing Stitch, generally Grab Your Sword is pretty favorable against. Hopefully we draw another Inkable, because I'd like to keep all of these. I would like to play whatever we draw for ink here into Fishbone. Yeah, we can ink that. That's easy, easy. Okay, so we ink that. We play Quill. We ink Hades. Say go. So that was a pretty easy turn. I wouldn't mind running out the Cogsworth next turn if possible. If not, we'll just do the Flaversham, which is fine. Just to get a little bit of card draw going. We'll see what they do. Especially if they... Okay, so because I found the whole new world, we don't really need the Flaversham as much. Well, they're also probably on wheel. Maybe we just don't need wheel at all. Maybe that's secretly the answer. I'll just let my opponent wheel me. Play this and say go. Because if I don't need to be wheeling, at least not right away, because I have the Flaversham, maybe that's secretly where the decision trees are so challenging in a deck like this. Is because normally wheel is like the thing that you want the most of any card, really. But we're in a spot where we don't need to wheel all the time. It is still good, but we don't necessarily need it. You know, we have this to draw cards. We have other things that we can do that still draw us cards. Now a smash would be good. As would a big tank. Big tank would wipe these out. Smash would let us deal with the Stitch. They might wheel here. That's possible. We'd lose a Grab Your Swords, which is unfortunate, but right now it doesn't really do much anyway. I would like to get down as many Cogsworth as we reasonably can, I think. We draw 2 Captain Hooks. I'm kind of interested maybe in just getting rid of both of them. Because this dies right now to swords. Yes, by quite a bit. Raging Fire doesn't kill Ariel here. And it doesn't combo with Grab Your Swords to kill the Stitch either. So it also doesn't kill Arthur. Like, all the cards that are the most problematic in this format are 3 toughness. Yeah, I think I do this, and then I say go. I don't think that we need to go very fast against this deck. Like, I would rather just ink some stuff, get a little bit of a head on resources, so that if they do play a song at some point, that we're able to dig out from under it. Yeah, so here's our whole new world. So we didn't draw a Grab Your Sword, which is unfortunate. We did draw a Tamatoa. We also have a Hades, which we could get rid of the Stitch with that. We'll have to see what our draw is and what our opponent plays out from here. We could also just use the Popsicles and the Flaversham to dig us into more board wipe. I wouldn't mind getting a little bit more power on board with, like, the Prince Eric, considering challenging this Simba here. But obviously, like, Tinkerbell and Swords would be ideal right now. Oh, they opted to quest with this? Interesting. Well, I think we start with this. Interesting. We could wheel to look for the things that can kill the board. Though, unfortunately, we only have one Singer. We still have enough resources for Smash plus... Well, let's look at our board for a second and see what we can clean up. If we Prince Eric here, that's basically all we can clean up, which is really shit. I really don't want to lose this Cogsworth unnecessarily to just missing either. I think I maybe let them have a turn. That was a challenging turn. I gotta play a little faster, but this deck has a lot of choices in it. I think I let them have a turn with their board. We can kill Simba kind of for free, because if they're attacking Prince Eric, it takes a reasonable amount of resources to be able to punch through it. Like, I think Beast limits them on resources a little bit. Is that going to be able to kill Cogsworth here if they sing? I suppose it is. That's somewhat problematic. Though, if they want to sing swords, they can't really do that first, because then all of our stuff is kind of still alive. But the Cinderella's a bit of a problem. We'll see. We'll see if I cocked it up a little bit. So they did swords. They killed a Cogsworth here. Maybe they have a second swords with the Ariel. That would kill the two Prince Erics. They don't. Okay. I literally have no idea how much ink that they have. I really hate this bug. It still frustrates the shit out of me. Like, I don't know how much ink they ever have to know what they're working with, which is really annoying. Okay, I think we have to wheel here, because we don't really have an answer to the Cindy or what's on their board. Which is really unfortunate. I think we get rid of this. And I think we get rid of the Flaversham. And then we just Whole New World. Probably just for mana, because I don't have to commit the Beast then. Okay, so we've let it go for this. Swords, everything. And then they have Ariel and Stitch still alive. We can kill Ariel with Flaversham. We can afford to play this. Okay, we'll be able to use that to hopefully clean up after this. So, let's go... Grab your sword. Kill Ariel. I don't care if they kill Flaversham here. I don't love giving them 2 ink in this spot, but I think it's fine. Because they've used a lot of the cards, like their cheap cards. Not a lot of them, but a decent number of them. How many swords do we have left? 2. It is entirely possible that we have flubbed this game a little bit. But we'll have to see what our opponent does with their turn. We can actually wheel them to death as an option as well. Because we have only used one of our wheels so far. So if this beast is still alive, we inked one, you're right. So we've used 2 of them, so this would be the 3rd one. That's right, because we had double in hand earlier, and we got to use the quill on one. That was when we were on the line of making them wheel us. They also had swords. That's unfortunate then. That's 3 of their swords. Wheel is definitely not great right now then. That's too bad. Yeah, not having the Cogsworths in play makes this pretty awkward. 7. We could play a Flaversham and a Tamatoa here. They still have the double Cindy, so there's not a lot that we can do about that. We don't really need the Flaversham. What are our other options? This is 15 mana. We could do Cogsworth Tamatoa, or we could do Hades Cogsworth. I definitely think we want to get Cogsworth in play. If we Hades, what are we hitting? Stitch, I guess, because at this point the ink just doesn't matter. But then the Cindy is kind of loose against the... If they play the big Cindy, then they just like get to eat the Cogsworth if they sing a song, which is unfortunate. But there may just not be anything that we can do about that. I think we do this. I think we get rid of Quill. I think we get rid of Flaversham. We play a Tamatoa here, grab a Popsicle, and say go. It's going to be difficult for them to get rid of both of these and also do the Cinderella thing. They have one Grab Your Swords. They would have to have the song that kills big things to kill Tamatoa. They've got one of those as well. Okay, fair enough. They likely don't have Big Cindy, though, so that means our Cogsworth gets to live. Though I don't know what we're going to do with it, except just try to mill them out. They also have Big Cindy. They must have drawn it here, so like they just have bad sequencing. So they'll have to sing another song in order to attack Cogsworth in this spot. The reason that I opted to keep the Hades, they still have 5 ink. Cool. This is the most infuriating bug of all the bugs, because there's quite a few random ones. I think I hate this one the most. Because like I'm trying to like plan stuff and they just like have things that I don't know about. I hate it. Okay, so we really need to deal with what's on their board, and dealing with just Cindy on its own doesn't do it. Can I kill them if I triple wheel? I can't triple wheel, right? Because this is 3 and then 4, so we can't do it 3 times. We can wheel once and still have 15 left. That would let us do swords, swords, let it go. Would be our best line, I think. So yeah, let's play for it, I guess. Get rid of the Popsicle here. Alright. Hit the cards we need. We did not. We got 1 swords, which is not enough at all. So, are we dead? This stays alive. These stay alive. I actually don't know if we don't draw all the swords, I think we're just dead no matter what. So, what's our alternative? We could do this, leave the Cindy in play. do this and finally either grab your swords to do swords. Yeah, I think that's our only hope. Is Tinkerbell good enough? Yes. Then we don't need the swords. Then we at least get to put more pressure on the board. I mean, we still have the swords in the deck, obviously, but the Tinkerbell does the same, but it also gives us a body, so we may as well do this. This. I think that's the only way that we don't just die this turn. And if for some reason they draw 5 cards and we rip the wheel, we get them. But that's about the only hope that we've got at this point, I think. For some reason they cast a Stitch. Are they digging? 1. I mean, we may not be able to beat this Stitch, like, just straight up. So it might be moot anyway. They did opt to quest, which I think is fair. So there's 5. We have to deal with 2 big threats, plus the queen, which we cannot do with our hand. So then we are dead. Because we can't kill the Stitch. We can kill everything else. We can have this attack the Cindy, shoot the queen, play the Tink. Wait, do I have enough damage to kill the Cindy? Cindy will take 1, 2, 3. Damn. I don't know. I think I fucked this game somehow. Like a little bit. Yeah, we can't kill the Cindy. The Cindy will be too short. And we can't kill the Stitch. The Stitch will be too short. That's a shame. This deck is tricky to manage, and I'm playing it a little slow because there's just so many decisions. I wonder if there was a different way for us to play that in the early game, and that might have been the big difference. The early game seems... Yeah, GG. I didn't really know what else I could do in that spot. I had an out to the Cindy, but we didn't draw the double swords. It was pretty close, though. I think we send this back. And they'll let it go. We could use this for ink, but we can use most of the cards in the deck for ink. Okay. See what they're doing here. I don't think that I need to play this Captain Hook. I think I can just say go. Yeah, that was what I was... That was my alternative plan, but I had inked one of them early with the quill, so I didn't actually have one to cat. Like, I only had 1 left in the deck, not 2. Otherwise, I would have tried to just blast for it. Given this, I think we can afford to play a Prince Eric here. I'm just trying to decide if I want this Tinkerbell or not. We maybe don't need redundant beasts. And that would give us more options. Like 1 sad beast is probably plenty. And then that lets us keep a Tinkerbell. And in theory, this should slow down their aggression. Unless they decide to just play a 3-3 here, which is fine. Yeah, I suspect they're going to Mim Snake. That's acceptable. I don't think that we really need this DYB, but it'll give us more information. I don't think double Cogsworth is really where we want to be. So let's draw it, and then we'll leave the Eye of Fates in the deck in case we get that far down. This deck, you really don't need 2 Cogsworth. 1 is more than sufficient generally. If they play Arthur, we have the Smash, so that'll be nice. I'd probably hit Minnie Mouse as well, I think. Mim Fox. I don't think I hit Mim Fox here. This is kind of the same decision as last time. I don't think I smashed the Mim Fox. I don't think that matters. We'll take the Whole New World, which means that we don't necessarily need the Sad Beast. Well, I kind of want to like play some 5s in order for us to Whole New World. Maybe we don't need Cogsworth at all. Like next turn I'd rather untap and play Sad Beast than Cogsworth, because it's just a bigger threat on the board. Being a 3/5 as well. Like it can also rumble a little better against this deck. Rabbit's fine. I don't think I need this Tinkerbell. I think we play Beast. Do I just bash the Prince Eric here into the Mim? I don't think it's necessary. Since I have the Grab Your Sword Tinkerbell, I can just do that next turn if I want. Like I can sing with the Beast Tinkerbell. In fact, it sets us up pretty well to be able to Whole New World, since they have so many rabbits. They're stopping the Beast draw. I think that's hilarious. That just doesn't do anything at all. We definitely don't need this. I am on board to play Tinkerbell. Let them draw their 1 card. Grab your sword, let them draw the rest of their cards. And then we can follow it up with a Whole New World when they have 7 cards in hand. Makes the rabbit look pretty stupid, doesn't it? We'll see what they can do for 6. Maui, maybe? Lady Tremaine. That is not enough. Guess we get rid of Prince Eric. Okay, so I think I'm debating on whether or not I use this smash on the Lady Tremaine. I don't think that I do. I think I just Whole New World first. Because they can board wipe here, which would be annoying. Well, before I do anything, let's see what we discarded. 2 more Tremaines and a Yzma. I think in this spot I Quill. Popsicle. I draw a card. I think I'm considering inking, like, Let It Go here, since we have the Hades. And then just playing Flaversham to draw with the Popsicle here. We could have healed the Beast as well. That was another option that I considered. But I think given that our opponent is likely to have Be Prepared, we could also let this go, but I don't think I want to do that. And that might have been a mistake. Like, maybe healing this was better than playing the Flaversham. Because it doesn't have the... For some reason, this card is worded in such a way that it doesn't get the power on their turn. And it's not Challenger. It just, like, doesn't get the power. It's very weird. I guess, in theory, this works with, I don't know, something better. It's a weird card. Yeah, I think I should have healed the Beast. I think it would have made it a more pertinent threat. Where now it's just not at all, and it's really awkward. Because now they just get to keep their Tremaine. Which is fucking awkward. Could just clean up the board with the Flaversham instead of drawing. We just like smash this, hit this. I did that wrong. I should have played Cogsworth first, because then the Flaversham would have had no damage on it. I'm debating on whether or not I care about this beast being there to destroy items. And they're only at 4 lore, so I don't think I care. I think I'd rather just get it out there. And then I think we quill to let it go again. And draw the Popsicle. And I don't actually care about this Flaversham. The only thing that they're going to be able to kill it with, the Popsicle doesn't necessarily save it here. And I'm considering the whole new world on my turn anyway. The goat, sure. Double goat, okay. Interesting with the double goat. I don't think I need a whole new world here then. Like, I think I can Hades one of these goats. And just get rid of it. And then I can bash with this here. I'm going to do this again. Do we want the Tinkerbell? I think I'd rather have the Grab Your Sword here. They're both kind of shit, though. But you can sing Grab Your Sword, which I think is important. I don't feel like we need the other Flaversham. We have so many cards. I just need to be able to cast them all. Like, we have a whole new world to reset. We have the Tamatoa to get more Popsicles. So if they board wipe, we have a decent answer to it. And if their play is just to, like, Merlin and hit the Flaversham, I don't really care. That's fine. Makes the swords better as well. Unless they snake and then hit it anyway. Yep. Or they mim and that's obnoxious. Now they killed a beast. Okay. And they run out their goat again. Okay, that's fine. Because now I can attack with Hades. Play another Hades. Get their goat, so it's just gone. And I think run out Prince Eric as well. We have a decent follow-up to like a board wipe here. And we have a decent clock as well. I think I'm okay playing Tamatoa next turn. I don't think that we need a whole new world necessarily. Though they have drawn a lot of cards. And we can just like whole new world and make them discard most of them. Which is kind of appealing since we have the we don't even have ink advantage though. They played a spellbook. Now that's problematic. I don't know if we have any other beasts. We have one left in the deck. So put us to 13. Yeah, I think I'll run out Tamatoa. Smash with these. We'll do Tamatoa. Get a Popsicle, play a Popsicle. That is interesting, because now if they kill one of these, we could potentially have lethal with that. I think because we have the Quill, we don't have to ink anything this turn. We can still get up to 12 if we're really desperate for it. They can go to 14 with their spellbook. 2 of their goats are gone. Maleficent Dragon. If they don't kill anything else, which they might still do, another eye gets it. This turn, at least. If not, we'll have to challenge our opponent's board a little bit. We could... Trying to figure out what the best way is to deal with their board. Because we should deal with it. We can go up to 18, 19 if we play the eye. I feel like that's unnecessary. Well, we're playing this either way, I think. On the Maleficent Dragon. So they can go to 17 with the spellbook as is. If I don't deal with this Yzma, which is Goat Bounce Goat, which they have 1 Mim, 2 Mims, and a Snake gone. So I feel like we probably should kill the Yzma. Which we can do by getting rid of this and the Cogsworth. And then just going like this, and then swordsing it. And then now they have to answer all 3 of these this turn, so it has to be prepared or nothing. I don't like how much ink that they have, because a be prepared is very good for them here. That makes be prepared a little worse, because now we have the opportunity to Whole New World. That is not ideal. I don't know how we're supposed to close this. I think we have to Whole New World here. I'm just debating about this eye. I don't think the Eye of Fates matters. I think we're supposed to get rid of it. And this Captain Hook. Okay, so 1, 2, 3 Tremaines already. They had a Pinocchio in their hand. Their hand was kind of mid, but they did have the ability to goad us if they drew one. I definitely think that we play the Beast and kill the Spellbook. We can also smash the Lady Tremaine, which I think I'm down for. Now I kind of wish I had that eye back, but I think it made more sense to wheel this way. So they B-prep, and they still have 6 to play stuff. Feels bad. Goat's probably the worst one. Goat Mim is even worse than that. It does leave the goat in their hand. Rabbit to draw more cards, sure. How many Whole New Worlds have we done? 3. We can play Flaversham and double swords. Or we can Tink Swords if we draw it. Let's do this. Popsicle, Hades. I guess Hades is better than Popsicle, or Hades is better than our other options. And we could even still, like, let it go on this Olaf. I don't think that's really where we want to be, though. If I was going to play the Popsicle, I should have played that first. I don't think I quill here. I'll just say go. Let them get to 16, potentially. Maleficent Dragon. Quest with Olaf. Unfortunately, we've drawn too many cards now. And the wheels are not that good for us either. I have no way of dealing with this Maleficent without the Let It Go. And it means that I have to, like, Let It Go Maleficent and Swords both of these, which is really fucking medium. But I don't really have another way of interacting with them, so I kind of think that's what I have to do. But I big hate that. They have 4 big Lady Tremaines? Jesus. Okay. I don't even know if I'm running them out of stuff. There's a goat. I guess I'm just drawing them into their goats. They're gonna double bounce them and just kill me. Yeah, I guess we're dead. Or they be prepared them, sure. Yeah, I wonder... I don't think that game was navigated very well. I think somebody more experienced with the deck would have had a little better results in that spot. This is a tricky deck to play. I'm not going to change the deck list. I'm just going to run it back. We'll play another set at least. This is definitely a very tricky deck to play because I think it's possible that we're supposed to be just trying to push more lore rather than playing as much control as we are. But so many of our creatures are just, like, super soft to Maui, so it's really weird. Like, all of them are soft to Maui, except for Tamatoa. So I don't know where we're supposed to be pushing when our opponent has Mauis. I guess just play into it. Doesn't really feel great. Be curious about your thoughts on that matter. And certainly in some spots there where I maybe where I could have navigated that a little bit tighter. This is an okay hand, I think, to keep. I could get rid of the Let It Go, and then I still have the Smash and the early interaction if I want them. Swords is good, Cogsworth is good. I think I'll take Cogsworth just because I want a creature in addition to beasts that I can play. We don't really know if we need the swords yet. It's possible that I'm supposed to wait on the DYB just because of that. It's like we don't know what we don't know. This will be good. This is unneeded. I guess technically so is the Captain Hook. Because we're going to go Prince Eric probably into Smash. Maybe the Cogsworth is unnecessary here then. This should be an okay matchup for us, especially with this opener. We may hold on to this because it's an okay, like, turn 4 play. Oh, or we'll just jam it next turn, sure. We can get rid of this beast and just replay 2 guys. Play these 2, and then we have Smash if they play Arthur. Like, they can't quest here without losing their characters. At least not for free. Simba's fine. I hope the Simba encourages them to attack with this. Oh, that's super good for us. Okay, we don't need all of these sad beasts. 1 is probably sufficient. We smash the Simba. And then we just, like, bash their whole board to death. And then in 2 turns we've got this. Like, we'll be able to go Beast into Tinkerbell, hopefully. Most of our deck is inkable, so that's pretty likely. Goat. No, just more Lilos. That's fine. That's a lot of Lilos, though. This is what I was a little worried about, is the Arthur. So I'm not thrilled about having to use my Smash to get through the Simba, but I do think that it was right. Let's hit here. Banish the Captain Hook into the Inkwell. Play out our Beast. We're likely not casting this Whole New World at all this game. I'm not going to attack with this unnecessarily. I don't want them to play a Fox Mim or something and get a free hit with it. Another Arthur. Hopefully they choose not to quest here so that we can, like, dump the Flaversham Tinkerbell and just leave them with, like, 50 Arthurs. And they concede. Fair enough. Alright. We are 3 and 2. Yeah, I can definitely see how the steel early interaction is pretty strong against a lot of these decks. Sand's pretty bad. We can keep Whole New World and Quill together. That's a pretty good combo. And I think maybe 1 Cogsworth, just so that we have something to play on 5. Smash is good. Flaversham is probably ink for us here. And likely one of these Tinkerbells. We'll see what the matchup is, of course. Flaversham is ink for sure, and then we'll say go. Leaves them very little information about what we're playing as well, which is nice. I always like holding back information if we can. I do like a lot about this deck. I wonder if it needs something to help some of its control matchups just a little bit. I don't know if it needs a ton of help, but there is like a small window in here that, like, because we can't really switch into another role, that we're a little reliant on stuff on the board. And all of our cards are a little soft to Maui, so it's tricky there. So they opt for Nick. We don't necessarily need the Smash in this matchup here. I think we play the Quill. We can ink, I guess, the Popsicle. I just don't see what... Well, we can ink the Tinkerbell and then just play the Popsicle. That seems fine. I'm definitely on board to Cogsworth and then Wheel. Less on board with it now that they have a Quill, but I do have some beasts in here. I think we get rid of Let It Go. Play the Cogsworth. Quill the second Popsicle that we don't really need. Like, I'm ideally looking to maybe ink 2 things next turn, play a whole new world. Does leave the Cogsworth a little bit weak to Maui. But maybe that's fine. Maybe the way that you beat these matchups is you just run them out of B-preps and then you kill them eventually. You just go around them. Especially if they're going to Flaversham, I absolutely want to wheel. Because then I don't care how many cards they have in hand. We will have 0 cards to their... we really want to play this Eye, though. Fuck. Maybe it doesn't matter. I'm thinking it doesn't matter that much. We could play the Eye and then the whole new world. I guess we can get this back with Tamatoa later. If we don't discard it. Or if we discard it with whole new world. Nah, I'm just going to ink it. I think I'm overthinking it. Let's run out a Sad Beast, and a Captain Hook, and a Popsicle, since we have the Flavershams. Now they have to decide if they want to Maui this, or if they want to blow up the board. Blow up the board doesn't seem terrible, though one of their Be Prepareds and one of their Scars is in the bin. But we have so many Flavershams that we can, like, just get a new hand. So maybe it's fine. Maybe they don't care. And they're just going to progress their own game plan. Looks like they're going to draw some extra cards. If we find another whole new world, I'm definitely on board to do it. Get rid of another Felicia. Unfortunately, they're keeping up with our ink. They do Be Prepared. Okay, that's fine. That is A-okay. Would like to draw and play Beast this turn. Yeah, that'll do. We don't need this Flaversham for sure. And Tinkerbell is kind of medium. I can just do this. Would have liked to have done that last turn after the wheel to leave them on 6 or 7 so that they have less options, but it's okay. We do what we have to. It does make all of our Let It Go's mostly just live because they're already at so much ink that kind of doesn't matter a ton. But now I think we need to start putting on some pressure. Tremaine. Discard the Flaversham because we know that we have another one and we don't necessarily need to draw this next turn. They have Eye of Fates in their deck. They play Gaston. Ugh. It's kind of disgusting. How do we deal with this Tremaine? Maybe we don't. Maybe we don't even attack with the Beast. Like, getting in too low and then just having it die to Gaston feels real bad. What is my alternative? We can play Flaversham, Tragic Hero. We have Smash. Let It Go, Smash. Make Scar live. That's maybe fine. kind of don't need this Tinkerbell, I don't think. Pretty sure that I would also blow up this Fishbone Quill if we get to attack with the Flaversham. Hey, Devil, appreciate the follow. So they get back a Popsicle and replay it with their Nick. That leaves them with 5. And then they just play a Maui and kill the beast. Not a big surprise there. Are they going to heal it as well? Sure. I don't know. It doesn't feel great to me because they just like have better cards, but I am also not piloting the deck very well, which does not help the case for the deck either. That is sort of a me problem more than a deck problem, because I'm just not that familiar with the deck. Like, I think if I had another, 50 games on it or something, it would be different. Yeah, it doesn't... It would have been different if I fought against it, too, because that would help as well. But I never got a chance to fight them. I only fought against the Ruby Amethyst players. I mean, we're in a position where we can almost just mill them out. We're gonna hit the beast, sure. I suspect they'll quest with Nick and then untap it. It's kind of the only thing that they can do. Are they going to heal the Maui again? It seems unnecessary. Sure, that's fine. I'm thinking about playing Tamatoa. I can beast and blow up their shield. This is 13. This is 12. What if I do this? Blow up their shield. Hades. Blow up their Hades. And then we just say go. Probably should have attacked with Flaversham if this was the line. Maybe? I'm not really sure. Gaston gets to find something. If it's B-Prep, it makes the Gaston a little weird. Hey, appreciate the follow. How you doing? How have you been with your brews? Yeah, that's fair. Aladdin. What a twist. They jam out an Aladdin. Okay, well, we're gonna have to Tamatoa here for sure. All we've drawn is Captain Hooks. Let's get something else. So we gotta let it go. So we can get rid of that Aladdin. That's a problem that we can solve. We can get rid of the 2 Captain Hooks to do that. We can use Beast to kill this Nick. And then we have another Tamatoa to sort of follow this whole shit show up with. Then we can keep the Hades back if we want. What do we think of that? We just like pay 2 and then do it that way. Let's get rid of this thing. Bash and get rid of this. And then just say go. So we're a little bit behind on the board, but we do have more draw with the Tamatoa and the one that's in play. So, like, they have to answer more than one thing this turn. And if they be prepared, then we still have the Tamatoa as a follow-up after. I do think that the Steel Song deck is quite good. I think it has a decent enough matchup against the other major problematic thing, which is just the the Amethyst whatever decks, that it's probably fine. We're just never getting rid of this Maui, ever, are we? Okay. If they board wipe me, they board wipe me, but if they don't, we still got the Tamatoa. Flabbersham to draw 2 cards. Okay. Yeah. I am probably going to end up on RP of some sort myself. Oh my goodness, another one. Okay. Like, I think this deck is cute, but it, like, if it struggles into the Popsicle matchup, like, this is more... I've played Popsicle more times today than I think I have in the past, like, 50 games. It's kind of insane, actually. We can hook Swords it. That at least clears it up a little bit. Doesn't really make sense just to do nothing, so we may as well. Then if we draw another Swords off the top, it's still good. They have no Popsicles left in their deck. They are Sans Popsicle. I don't know. Every time that I'm getting ready to get off a Popsicle, everybody's playing Popsicles. How many Swords do we have left? All of them? I see. So what we could really use is some dross. I guess we just Swords again. Fine. So we Swords again. We just bash the Maleficent so we stop bleeding out here. I feel like I have no idea how this deck beats Control. Like, I don't know how you beat Popsicles. Okay, so you're saying that I should just cast this. I guess I could just cast 3 of them this turn and kill them, so maybe that's the secret. The 2 be prepared's gone already? Okay. This hand is real bad. Guess I should have Popsicled first, just so that I had more information, but it's fine. If I sing this, then the Maui trades with the Hades. But if I sing it and then I play Cogsworth, then the Maui can't trade with the Hades. Which I think is neat. Let's get rid of this. Play another Popsicle. And say go. I mean, I guess we just wield him to death. Maybe that's secretly how you win. You, like, find a way to make them draw too many cards, and then you just send them to the Shadow Realm. I can't cast it twice. Well, we need them to draw 5 more cards, then. Total, which is doable. We probably don't play this Tragic Hero, though we can afford to draw, like, 6 cards off of it. So that's 1. They may not have any win conditions left, or at least not enough of them to close. Like, that is always a possibility. Assuming that we're able to, you know, interact with what they're doing. I don't know why they Maleficent did that instead of just, like, Mauiing it. 11 versus 13. This is 5. Criminy sakes. I guess we run these out. Because it's AP and AP, so I can't mill them if I have less cards in my deck. So I guess we just say go, and then hope that they draw too many cards. Draw 4 cards. Do it. I guess if they quest with these and they play nothing, I don't know how many more things that they have that actually generate lore. Like 1 more Tremaine, if they haven't inked any. I don't think that they even have any Maleficents left. So we inked 1 of them, so all of the Maleficents are gone. They usually only run like 2 Gastons. They're kind of almost out of things that make lore. Eye of Fates? Come on. Interestingly, not attacking with this might have been correct. Ooh, draw some cards. Seems unlikely. I don't think we have enough answers to deal with all their stuff. Because we can double Cogsworth on a Gaston. I know that the last card in my deck is a Swords. Holy shit, they did draw 2 cards? Jesus, okay. Oh, I see. They knew that they had a Cogsworth exactly in their deck to kill us. GG. Good beats. The Cogsworth 2 in their deck that we hadn't seen any other ones to turn on their Maui to be able to quest with it for 1 was an interesting gamble on their part to try and draw those 2 cards. Yeah, I am unsure if I'm playing this deck correctly. I will admit that as much. It feels like I am maybe not gaining enough lore earlier. We might try to do that a little bit. Because it feels like we are just like not a good enough control deck to play control, and we just need to be playing beatdown more. Even though that feels pretty impossible against a lot of these decks. Given that our cards just don't necessarily line up very well against Popsicles. I certainly make Popsicle look great, though. I just keep Smash and that's it. I think that's fine. Not a stellar hand, but we have the ability to work with some information here. Okay. Not a bad hand here, then. Let's Certainly don't need this Tamatoa. Can run out the Popsicle on one. Show them no information. Because they are still going to assume then, I think, that we're on blue. We have this to draw a little bit of cards. We have the Grab Your Sword plus the Tinkerbell to deal 3 damage and kill everything. I think what I don't love about this deck is not having the 3-drop Tinkerbell, maybe, to be able to do the shift lines, which feels a little bad. Because there's a lot of times that you really want to be shifting your Tinkerbell to deal the 3 in a single turn. Maybe against this deck it just doesn't matter that much. We have the Whole New World. The Beast is still a very good 5-drop. Do we just not need Flaversham this game? It doesn't really feel like we need Flaversham this game. Just like other stuff that we can be doing instead. I'm willing to get rid of 1 Smash, given that we have so much other damage. But I don't want them to see that we're getting rid of Smash, so that's why I opted to Quill it instead. As far as they know, we're still on mono blue. So they opted to play a goat. So I think we can either play the Tinkerbell, or we can just play the Beast and play the Tinkerbell and the swords in the same turn. Tinkerbell makes it really awkward for them to attack. We get rid of the Beast. I actually think I can here. Maybe the Beast is too good to get rid of, but not really sure. What are they doing? They're diabolical scheming me. Well, that's not fucking good. Card seems pretty nice, since you can sing it. What does it cost? Like, I literally have no idea. What does this card cost? 2? 3? I assume 2, since they Queen of Hearts to get rid of it. But I have no idea, because it doesn't show up in the discard pile, so I don't need mana cost in the discard pile, right? How did they cast it there? Did they sing something else then, and I just missed it? They must have sang with something else, if it costs 3. Weird. They replay their rabbit again. I think we're getting rid of the Eric here. Getting rid of the rabbit. Gonna say go. I don't really feel like we're ever in control in these games, which means that I'm playing them wrong, I think. Because we have a lot of the tools to be favored in these spots, and it just feels like we're not using them very well. Like, we should never be in a spot where our opponent is the control deck, given the cards that are in our deck. And it just doesn't feel like we've been able to do anything other than that. Like, our hand is terrible for being... Like, we're losing both the control and the aggro in this matchup, which neither of those should be true. Right? Because not only is our opponent up on lore, but they're also out-controlling us. So something that I'm doing is incorrect here. I don't know what to do in this spot here. Concede probably and just go next. So that's what I'm going to do. Like, something about the way that I'm playing this game is, with this deck, is wrong. And the best DV play is probably to concede in that spot. But, like, I need to figure out why we're losing both the lore race and the control race. Like, we're not controlling well enough, and we're also not questing well enough, which means that we're just, like, moving cardboard around. Because if you're not the beatdown and you're not, like, the control portion, what are you? You're just a solitaire opponent. So something is not adding up with the way that I'm playing these turns. Like, maybe I'm overvaluing the whole new world, undervaluing something else. Like, we're going first here. I don't think that we need both Flavershams. One is fine with only one item. We probably only need one Captain Hook. We can maybe mulligan those two. Get rid of the Tamatoa, play a Popsicle here. Like, I don't know how we were supposed to play that game any differently, which maybe is my misunderstanding of how the deck is supposed to function. Like, this is not an aggressive card. This is a defensive card. So is this. So is this. Okay, so in this spot, like, I need to play this Captain Hook. I need to keep the Smash. I should keep the Beast, and I should keep this. So, like, I just don't know what I'm inking here. Maybe we just don't need the second Popsicle, but, like, I hate it. Maybe I don't need two Smash. Maybe that's the solution. Maybe one Smash is acceptable. Because then we can Smash on this turn. Clear out their board. Yeah, there's an Arthur. Like, do I just not need this to draw me cards? I feel like I'd never want it. It is insanity to me. Like, I don't even feel that I want this Beast. Clicked ban, go away. Yeah, maybe. I just, like, don't need it. I think it's this. And say go. Like, Blue Steel definitely feels like a good deck, and maybe I just need to watch some people playing it a little bit more, so that I'm more familiar with it. It's fine. That's not fine. That's way less fine. Like, I'm in an awkward position here. Like, what do I do? Do I get rid of this beast and just play Tinkerbell and then use that to sing? I suppose, right? Like, because the Tinkerbell is just a better card than the beast in this spot. And maybe that's my issue, is that I don't know the valuations of the cards. Because maybe all of the cards are so samey that I'm overvaluing ones that normally would have high priority just because Whole New World and Beast and Flaversham are all like the same. It's all just something that draws us cards. So maybe I don't need to worry that much about the Beast because we have, you know, we have the Tinkerbells or whatever. So if I Tinkerbell again, this still doesn't die. I could let it go, the Arthur, and then save the Tinkerbells. This is 8. The most mana efficient thing to do is like let it go Fishbone Quill. That fucking blows. Nah, maybe it's fine with the Flaversham for next turn. I think I can attack with Captain Hook as well. Because if they leave something in play tapped, like, it's really bad for them. Because of the Tinkerbell. And because I have the double Tink anyway, like, I can kill most of the things that they can play. And if they opt to just, like, Fox Mim or whatever, Befuddle. Okay. Really sure that that's a real card there, but I can appreciate what they're doing with it. Hopefully they just try to go really wide. Nice. I mean, this is the steel cards where they always had an advantage, right? Because you could always just Tinkerbell them to death. I don't think I attack here. I want to play Flaversham, I just don't know how. Like, because I want this beast to just, like, be doing shit. But again, maybe I just don't care. Like, I can just do this. Then it just doesn't matter. Like, which could be why the Flaversham just, like, could be something else that's better. Because I already have the Beast, which does a similar effect. Which, if we cut that, then we would be cutting the Popsicles as well. I don't know, it's interesting. Hopefully they play 2 things here, so that we can Tinkerbell them again. Alright, well, 3rd time's the charm. We get rid of Develop. We Tinkerbell. We let it go on this. Quest with this on... Guess we probably don't need more Fishbone Quill. Okay, they're done. Fair enough. Yeah, I mean, that matchup is pretty straightforward, but that's just the steel half of the deck carrying against little idiots, right? I definitely feel like there's something to the, yeah, I suppose that's true, because you can... Wait, why does it have nice beast synergy? Because you can heal it if they deal damage to it, I guess. Because that's the only reason. Like, theoretically, it's because you can heal it a little bit if it's taken damage. I guess the popsicle is just kind of free. Like, popsicle and develop your brain. I know what this opponent is playing, and I just have already forgotten. Which is awkward. Technically, it has nice Prince Eric synergy, too. So it has enough, but... Okay, so they're playing the... this deck. So we don't really need the Prince Eric here, then. We can develop into... We'll take the Beast. Get rid of Prince Eric and say go. My intention is to cast the Quill, start slamming 5s, and then... Whole New World and bury them that way. I don't think I'm going to have time for Flaversham here. Let's do this, say go. Minnie Mouse, sure. We need to play a 5 this turn. Beast is just a 4/4, which is pretty good. We could also play Tinkerbell this turn, which kind of shuts down their aggro. It feels like we're just not Eye of Fating in this spot here. I think we do this because it's more mana efficient. Also means the Lady Tremaine can't attack unless they shift it, I guess. Shift is 4. And they do shift it, of course. Like, maybe it's just me today. I don't know. Like, we're getting outlawed and out-controlled. It's just, like, not a spot that we should be getting dumped on in. Like, I don't know why we're getting dumped on in both directions today. It feels pretty bad. What am I doing wrong? Somebody explain to me. What am I doing wrong here? Like, why does it feel like I'm not the control or the aggro in this matchup? Like, what am I doing wrong to the approach to this? I am open to suggestions here. Right, but if we can't beat the Ruby decks, this deck is trash. Because half the format is Ruby and the other half is Amethyst. Right? So, like, that doesn't make sense. Being paired against the Ruby control decks is not the problem, inherently. Because the person who piloted this was able to go through 3 of them to still win in the event the other day. Which means that there's other answers, there's other things that can explain what's happening here. Or that could potentially be the reasons. How do I deal with this mini here before they just spellbook us to death because our only 2 beasts are gone? If I play this, they're just going to Tremaine it. If I ignore it, then they're just going to bury me. So I don't know what the solution is. This, I guess. Like, I think this card is so mid. Because all this ramp that we've done is just completely undone already. So, like, what are we even doing here? Because they can still just Lady Tremaine us. Like, that's what I'm not getting is, like, where's the efficiency? Like, why are we ramping then if we're just getting killed in these spots? Like, we have a 7-turn clock and we have 0 lore. What am I doing wrong? Fuck! Well, one of them was not using the popsicle there, but I am perplexed. Maybe this deck is too big brain for me. Oh, they did have the Lady Tremaine. They just have it all. Like, I'm just gonna play this deck. I don't think I have the brain capacity for a deck that isn't the mindless purple-red. I think that's just gotta be what the solution is. Because it doesn't feel like you have to think at all with that deck. Because every card that you play is just 1000x better than every card that your opponent is playing. Like, that could have been a be prepared. Okay, we're done here. Alright, there's literally no way that we can beat the spellbook. We can't actually quest fast enough. Yikes. Yeah, I'm going to need a primer on this deck before I go back to it again, because I'm definitely not playing it correctly. But it is still feels pretty good when it's working. But the tricky spots, I'm not 100% sure how I'm supposed to navigate. Should we just, like, DYB 50 times? Once maybe is plenty. Yeah, I probably won't try to solve it. I'll probably just skip over to a deck that I have more familiarity with. But I can really appreciate the build here. I don't see how this really fared as well as it did against what our opponent is playing. Without actually seeing them play the games, it's hard for me to know for sure. Like, maybe it's relying on Beast more, playing more of your 1 and 2 drops, but we've ran into control or some flavor of control many times today, and it has not felt like we were ahead in really any of those games. On board or in hand. And maybe I'm just playing a little scared with how I put creatures onto the board. But things like this just feel like they're so much stronger than what we're doing. Like, I'd like to put this Eye of Fates into play, but I just do not think that we can here. Because normally this would be the matchup for it, but it feels a lot like we have to do this. This is likely like a pretty heavy control deck. Kind of want to destroy this Ursula's Cauldron because they shouldn't be running it because it's just a waste of time. Like, this card has wasted more game time than any other. That was like 12 seconds every turn. It's crazy. I think it's just this. Like, I don't see how this doesn't get Dragon's Breath. I guess if they don't have it, I suppose. So the quest here, so like, are we supposed to draw 2 cards and then just like hit the Mim now? Are we supposed to like play more to the board and not hit this and just like use it to draw more cards? I think I can develop your brain. We haven't really ramped at all, so let's take the Cogsworth then, since we already have a Hades anyway. Just ink another hook. Could blow up the Cauldron, but I don't think it matters. I think I'm just going to play Cogsworth. And then we can hit this for 3 and kill it. And this would be at 3. Am I just supposed to say go? I mean, is wasting a Grab Your Sword and having all of my things tapped for Maui worth killing a Mim? Maybe. I don't know. Like, they immediately Lady Tremaine, of course. Because they always will have a Lady Tremaine. But, like, I don't know what to do, because we're vulnerable to Be Prepared if we put more shit on the board. But, like, we can't do nothing. We could double Grab Your Sword and clean up the board. But then, if they Be Prepared, we're just, like, a worse control deck. Right? I have to be missing something. Because if we blast this and then they Be Prepared, like, they used one card, we used, like, a whole handful. If we tap these, they can just Maui or Scar and kill our whole board. I'm so confused. I don't know. I don't know what the right answer is. Like, do I just not care about the beast? Like, that's the only thing that I can think, is that I just have to not give a shit about these cards. Alright, we'll do this. We'll do this. We'll quest here. We'll ink the Flaversham and say go. And here's the Maui, but it only gets to kill one of them. Which I guess is something. I hate Maui being just the fucking best card against this deck. I do not get it. It is so insane against us. Like, actually just the best card. I cannot think of a better card in the game for 5. Okay. Like, I'm doing something wrong. Very, very obviously I'm doing something wrong. This is, like, miserable. We're just a worse control deck than all these control decks we've run into. So hopefully we can get some perspective from the from players who perhaps have been running this deck a little bit more on what it is that we've maybe been missing, because this doesn't really feel great. Am I supposed to just, like, play Beast, kill their thing, and, like, play the Eye of Fates and just start questing? I guess. I don't know. It's been weird. It's been a weird set of games. I feel like I understood the match, like how to play it out in a couple of the games, then a few of them I've just felt lost. There are just so many 5-drops. Well, at least on the plus side, we have the same amount of ink. Well, that's 3 of their Be Prepareds. There's a lot of them. We run this out. And this to play around Tremaine, I guess. Keep our Cogsworth. Play that on a goat. Okay, we have a popsicle in the bin. So I can, like, do this, grab a popsicle, play the popsicle. Let's ink 2 things and play a Flaversham and draw 2 cards, I guess. Or we just run out Prince Eric, maybe, and then I can't do this because I can't cancel it. Which is fine. I'll just make the play that I was going to make. Just get him for 3. Could sing Let It Go. I mean, this deck took down a bunch of the Amethyst decks, which is why we're trying it. I really do feel like Amethyst is much more of a problem than Popsicle could ever dream to be. So I find that to be a little interesting. Sure, you get Flaversham. I'm gonna bounce the Tremaine again. So that's 3 damage. If we do Tinkerbell, grab your sword. Yeah, nothing can, because they get to do it all pretty comfortably while they're doing all of their other things. Right? And I think therein lies the tricky part. Okay, I kind of want to kill this Lady Tremaine as well without tapping my Cogsworth. Maybe I don't care about the Cogsworth. No, I want to quest at the Cogsworth. I want to get rid of this and something. I guess the Tamatoa to do this. Like, I need to put some pressure on. I need to close the game. They only have 1 Be Prepared left in their deck, so now is the time. If they're only 1 for 1-ing with our things, then we can, in theory, win before they can win. I mean, okay. If they kill me, they kill me, but I think this is fine. It's the same out that they had before, but now, like, 2 removal spells doesn't stop it either. Because any 2 of these is lethal, so if they have, like, Tremaine, or Maui and a Tremaine, it just isn't enough. So it's be prepared or bust. They can afford to bounce this with a 2 or a 3 and still dig 1 card deeper. Alright, it didn't work for them. So maybe that is the solution, is just, like, you send. I have played exactly 0 games of Paper of this format. I would play Paper every weekend if it was an option, but there's nothing near me. I will be playing on the 9th, so next weekend. I have a thing that I'll be able to go to, but there's just nothing in my area for it currently. It is what it is. I live it kind of not in a great place for it. Most of the, like, energy is waiting until organized play before they put out any of their tournaments, so I have to wait kind of until the spring before it really starts getting going, unfortunately. As soon as the organized play, either information gets put out there or whatever they do, which, you know, is coming along with set 3, then there should be a tournament circuit of some sort that'll be near me in the Midwest here, so looking forward to that. So I go second here. This hand is, like, not bad. I think it's fine. I think this hand is okay. We have something to play on 1 and 2 and 3, and then we have the option of, like, Beast or Cogsworth, and we get to see what they're doing before we have to make any choices, so that's nice. Sad Beast, they play a Captain Hook. Don't really care about the Captain Hook. I think so, but I have only really played it 9 games so far on stream. In theory, it should have a good matchup against the red-purple, but it is tricky to navigate because I feel like they are both a better aggro and a better control deck than this one. But it, you know, it will require further testing before I would really know for sure. I don't really need to develop your brains because my hand is already pretty okay here. We run out the Prince Eric, which will hopefully slow down this nonsense that they're doing with the Auroras and the hooks. This must be intending on shifting to try and sing early, I guess. I don't know why you'd run Aurora otherwise. It is a little aggressive of a card, being a 2/2. 2 lore. They've gotten rid of 2 Sad Beasts already. They can't smash. Okay, so they just say go, so that's fine. It's good for us. I like most of the cards in our hand. We can get rid of the big Hades. We probably don't need the Beast hard-headed. Actually, we don't need Let It Go. We don't need Let It Go in this spot. Since we have the Quill already, if they play one, we get to Beast it, and then ideally we just, like, don't worry that much about it. It's my thought anyway. I do appreciate how well Prince Eric, like, shuts down what they're doing. I miss this card. I remember it being very strong when it was good. And it is good here as well. As they just, like, can't quest at all without it being problematic for them. So I'm debating between Cogsworth and Tragic Hero here. I think I'm just going to get rid of a Popsicle. and play the Tragic Hero and say go. I don't want to quill anything because I like all the cards that are in her hand currently. And if we can use this to get some extra cards, then we can start playing a bunch of Cogsworths. This is a very good card in this matchup. We need the cards now, I think. They opt to let it go. Okay. A Flaversham for 1. Okay. I do think I just play out the Cogsworth here then, but we should play the Popsicle first. Yeah, I think I'm going to play the Cogsworth, and then next turn we'll just start slamming Tinkerbells. Not having any draw is unfortunate here, but this does protect us from opposing Tinkerbells as well. I would assume that this deck is insane versus Steel Song, because you are playing the ramp cards and the things that are good against Steel Song. They opt to just blow up a Popsicle with Benja. Sure. That is acceptable. We can actually attack this, I believe. If we play the Tinkerbell, deal 1 damage, we can attack the Prince Eric on the Flaversham. It will take none. We could also do that. And then we could definitely do that. So we'll Tinkerbell, grab your sword. Prince Eric. Say go. Feels like a pretty winning position here, I would imagine. Tiana. So this is the blue steel, like, Tiana deck. Not really sure how good this card actually is. It has resist 2. I guess we want a wheel here, since we can take the most advantage of it. I would have ideally liked... Well, the Cogsworth is pretty good here. Maybe another Quill. This looks pretty over for my opponent. I don't really know what Steel can do in this spot. Especially if we just wheel again next turn. Like, we put 3 more ink into play, wheel again. We can just put, like, 4 Cogsworths into play, and they can't actually remove anything. They can top right. That is true. That is true enough. So we didn't draw another Cogsworth, but we did draw this. We'll do fine. Ink that. We can DYB and see if we can find one. Oh, they conceded. You're right. They can top right. I mean, that felt a lot better those last couple games, where instead of playing more passive and trying to play control-y, that I just sort of stuck shit on board, barfed out my hand, wheeled, barfed out my hand. Which I suppose is what the ramp Whole New World deck is supposed to be doing, right? It's just sort of vomiting out everything that they're doing every turn. For whatever reason, it doesn't think I'm a patron. I think it's because it's the beginning of the month. Let's look at the deck real quick here. So this was our deck list. It has a little bit of early interaction between these and the Smash, which lets them take advantage reasonably, I think, of the 3 toughness threshold that Amethyst has. Most of the purple cards, Arthur, all of the Mims and such, Rabbit, are all kind of 3, so this allows you to compete on that axis. And then it just uses all of the draw engines. It's got Flaversham, Tragic Hero, and your Popsicle to go with your Flavershams, and your Whole New World that just is good to sing with really any of these cards. This allows you to beat other steel decks pretty easily. You play a couple of these, there's not much. I think that they're erring on the side of the Beast Hard-Headed instead of Benja just because they want to be able to sing with it. But it's possible that the deck just needs more of this effect. Possibly even getting rid of the Flaversham, or shaving down on it just to make more room for other anti-item things. Benja or more hard-headeds or some combination thereof. But they did scoop the Manticxre Tavern last night, which I thought was pretty cool, considering that we were getting bullied by them pretty handily with our Popsicle deck yesterday. And this deck was able to sort of rally, kill most of that stuff, and then take it down. I don't believe that I was playing this super optimally here today, but I can definitely feel the power of these colors and what they were doing. A lot of the cards did feel very good when they were on the board. I think a lot of the times I was not playing my characters to the board with the intention of questing with them as much as I think this deck should. You sort of get the Tragic Hero down, use it to draw a little bit of cards. I think this is probably one of your better cards. Being that it's a way of drawing stuff while still flooding the board. Obviously, Flaversham is not a particularly aggressive card. But yeah, the Quill is very necessary for this deck to function. The Quill, this is a kind of a 2-card combo that was utilized in set 1 a bit. The Whole New World and the Quill. The Quill allows you to sort of dump your hand, you Whole New World, and get everything back. The games where you don't have that are going to be a lot more rare in a deck like this than most other ones, because the Popsicle and the Develop Your Brain together mean you're only really running 52-ish cards. Because these just, cycle into another card themselves. The Flaversham allows you to dig a little bit more. The Beast Tragic Hero is a reasonable secondary option for digging more cards down. So you actually have a lot of draw to dig into these things, more than a lot of decks would. So I think it's interesting. I definitely think it's going to be a meta call, how you build some of the other pieces. If the format is so aggressive that you need to be shifting the Tinkerbell to get that going, I think you could afford maybe some of the 3-drop Tinkers, though the 3-drop slot is normally a little crowded. In this version of it, it is pretty wide open. The 5-drop slot is quite heavy in this one, I believe, intending on singing all of these for additional value. So I find that to be a bit interesting as well. So, cool deck. Congrats to Milton here, who was able to take down that tournament. I think that will be it for me for now. I am probably going to play something Amethyst next time, and then we'll do take a look at that. There's quite a few different versions of how it can be built. There's a few that I like more than others. There's ones that are a little bit more vulnerable to decks like this, and ones that are a little bit more vulnerable to the aggressive decks. It kind of just depends on which flavor you want to build. But I think for now, we're going to go ahead and call it. Let me see if there is anybody else on. I can send you over to Ducky. I think that would be fine. Who is probably testing something pretty sweet. They usually are. And then I will see everybody next time. But yeah, certainly let me know in the comments if you have any suggestions on some spots where I probably could have done something different. I'd be happy to hear it.